Hey, what's up? What's up? And we back. Hey, and we back. And we back. And we back.
Yes, sir. By the way, I just want to issue a personal apology to the fans. I know I'm the podcast guru. You know what I mean? We did what we did on Hoops and Brews, so I apologize for the way that my audio sounded the last couple episodes. Just like working through some new technical difficulties. I will say this as a person that's, produced probably about 50 different podcasts at this point. The toughest thing that you learn is that not all podcasts are created equally technically. And when I say that, I mean, like, you have different technical settings. Pavi has different technical settings. I got another co-host named Daniel. He got different technical settings. Cam, Scott, all these different people have different technical settings for their show.
All them the side chicks though. I'm Beyonce.
No, yeah, of course.
Let's get it in.
You Kelly, you know what I mean? They all Kelly Rollins. But I'm saying that to say,
hold on, Kelly caught a strike.
She did not catch a stray. Kelly is fire.
No, I'm saying, but
to this day.
Yeah, give it up to Kelly, man.
So I say all to say, like, I made sure I'm recording the audio on my mixer. And we got the good audio inside of the studio. So regardless, I'm going to sound like I'm sitting right next to you for the next episode, which Dion usually, he has been. So Chief Dreamer, episode 3. I told Dion this earlier. I said, he's like, man, people love the show. I'm like, yeah, but it ain't even good yet. Like, wait until we just getting started. Like, wait until we take enough time to pre-produce the clips and get the clips up when we talking about what we're talking about. I just hit the button and it go up, and Dion say, yeah, this thing happened. I go, and it just go, magically. So, we only on the way.
But shout out to you though, man. Shout out to, even in spite of like, us being, miles and miles apart, you in LA, I'm in Chicago. We both, even through 3 episodes, man, like this is how it's supposed to be. I think if anything, we've had a lot of colorful conversations over the years. And I was like, man, like, I was even mad, like, why I ain't think of this, sooner, man. But with that being said.
You want to know something funny?
Talk to me.
Real quick before you intro. I was just scrolling through my Instagram the other day. And remember I had that Spilt Milk podcast with me, Lexi Brown. Yeah, like you was on it. You was on the episode and we was talking culture. And I literally saw that yesterday. I was like, oh, that was the precursor to all of this. Like that was the thing that put that little bug in the end. Like, but that was back before you had the green wall, the nice couch. You had shoe boxes in the back, a dresser in the back. Man. You know what I mean? You had a new rag on, you had a little white shirt on. Now you got the swagged out Tim's on, you know what I mean? So, it's just an evolution to the process. The one thing I will say about podcasting is once you catch the podcasting bug, it's kind of hard to get rid of because we all have a lot to say. But not a lot of us are good at creating interesting conversations. And you've always been a great conversationalist. And even though you said to me earlier, like people think I talk more, but I listen more. I think that's what makes you a great conversationalist because Glasses Malone, shout out to Glasses Malone. He always talks to us about listening. And he says a lot of people hear. He's like, but I listen. He's like, and what the word listen means is for you to make a list of all of the things that I've said and then internalize those or repeat those. He's like, and most people hear, they don't listen. And you said earlier that you listen very well. And I think that's what makes you a great orator. And that's what makes you perfect for a platform like this. So I'm shutting up. Talk to us, Dion. Intro the show. Let's get it in.
That's all good, man. Welcome to episode 3 of the Chief Dreamer podcast. Let's go, baby. Let's go, man. You got Chief Dreamer Dion Dawson checking in from Chicago, in Chicago, on the ground. Got TPJ, Chicago born and raised, repping out of LA. And we just said we want y'all to dream with us, man. We're going to have a little fun today as we always do. We're going to get in, get out, get gone. And we go want y'all to go be great. You know what I mean? So, with that being said, let's dive right in it. Shall we? You on mute, rookie?
Sorry. You know what's funny? I do that all the time, but I do that and I do that for, it's going to sound funny, but I've been doing live shows and actually you can't sit that on that table no more. That shit sound like World War III in the background.
Really? My bad.
Yeah, that shit like
boom, boom, boom.
I'm saying that to be, I'm just being honest. But I say that to say like, I always mute my mic on purpose because usually when I record live shows or live podcasts, because we record, like, you all aren't seeing this live, but we're recording this live. So even in the last episode, if you watched the last video, I literally looked up that picture of the Suez Canal and then put it in the program, loaded it up, and displayed it so you could see what it was in real time. So usually I'm around, I'm clicking and I will say this now, since now we're episode 3, right? So I feel like we locked in. We slowly getting to the point where by episode 10, we just gonna start the episode and start talking. That's kind of what we've been doing. But you violated. Dion got a Chief Dreamer violation. Y'all want to know? I'm not going to say it online. I'm going to tell you afterwards. But you got a violation. I gave you, because you said, just tell me what I need to do. I'm going to do it. I gave you a directive after the last one, and you didn't do it. Don't say what it is, because they going to notice what it is. But you didn't. You didn't do that.
Okay. Well,
that's a nightmare. Actually, by the way, no. Actually, hold on, low key. When we both do something that one of us told the other one to do, and we didn't do it because we forgot,
it's a nightmare.
We gonna call each other out on the show in a funny way, and we gonna call it a nightmare because it's the Chief Dreamer podcast.
Absolutely, you're right. So, all right, okay, we are gonna talk about that because I definitely don't remember. But you know what?
This first topic I want to talk about, because I was thinking, man, what can we talk about in the show that's like gonna be something good and funny? And I was thinking about all of the like terrible innocent mistakes I made, the stuff that I don't necessarily want the public to hear. And I thought about something that was very funny back when I was bagging groceries when I first moved to LA, and I was like the beginning of my dream of becoming who I've become, and hopefully I'll become greater than I am now. And I was what's the worst innocent mistake you've ever made, Dion?
So I'm not. One of them is. Talking to a friend at Curie when we were in high school, and low key dropped a dime on a dude to his girlfriend, and didn't even know that. Like, I didn't even know. First of all, like, he treated the side like the main, and the main like a friend. And man, I ain't gonna lie, I said something. And listen, it was totally my fault they broke up. You feel me? So
when we get off air, I want to hear who this is, and I only want to say when we get off air because a lot of people. I would say this, like, I'd say it's still probably about like 10, maybe 15 people from high school that still like check in, watch my Instagram on a daily, and still fuck with me. But I really don't talk to a lot of people from high school, right. Maybe it might have been bad choice, whatever. Like, I don't know. Like I said in episode 1, I believe, like, I'm not a person that likes to live in the past about like things I accomplished back then. Like, I might have some resentment about things that have happened to me, but I don't live in the past about my accomplishments. And high school was just an accomplishment for me because, and also we gotta have a lot of real talk because it's a lot of stuff that you don't know about me, I don't know about you. But I say like in high school, I was friends with everybody, but after high school, I was just kind of like, I'm on my own path. I'm moving out of that space. And although I still to this day talk to Scott Lewis, host of I'm Not Gonna Hold You on H&B Media TV, which is my sports network, and Joe Lewis, which is his brother. And I still communicate with Ricks. Like, Ricks is one of my homies still in LA. I see Ricks, honestly, like at least once a month. But for the rest of it, like, I really got 10, 15 people I'm still cool at high school. The rest of it, everybody kind of expanded. But being on this Chief Dreamer show page, I'm seeing so many people from high school pop up now.
Popping up,
and I'm like, oh man, bro.
But you know what's funny? And I'll be honest with you, right? It doesn't even, because both of us weren't who we are. You know what I mean? I think we're two people who did not peak in high school, right? And high school was just like high school for us. It doesn't even dawn on me that we went to high school together. Like, this is not like me doing a podcast with someone I went to high school with. This is like me doing a podcast with like one of my brothers now. And I think that's so dynamic and such a...
and I think that's so funny because I have a terrible memory. I have a terrible. No, for real. Ask anybody that knows me. Like when I was younger, before high school, I used to be really sick. Like I missed 2 years of elementary school. Like legit, swear to God. In the hospital over 50 times, ICU 10 plus times. So when I got to high school, like I was just happy to go to school every day because I was at home and I was supposed to be homeschooled. They didn't homeschool me until I was in 7th grade. So I was just at home for a whole year, like chilling by myself because my family be gone, my brothers would be gone. So when I got to high school, I was like, oh, I can finally go to school every day and be in a normal situation. And I'm not gonna lie, I hope my mom won't see this podcast. But some days when I didn't want to go to school, I just be like, yo, I got a migraine. And because I was sick when I was younger, they would just be like, oh, he got a migraine. Like, it's cool. He can stay home. I just stay home, watch TV. Whatever. Like my whole goal in high school was just to graduate. Like I took AP courses. I took an AP Renaissance. Actually, it was European Studies. And my main goal in that class was to get a C. And I was like, because if I get a C in an AP course, it's an A in a regular class. And on all my other classes, I was like, if I get a C, I pass, like whatever. Like I wasn't expecting to live that long. Yeah. So when I got to high school was just a fun experience for me because I got to go to school every day. So like, so it's funny hearing you say this because like, although we weren't like the best of friends in high school, if you ask me about some of my favorite people that I went to high school with, that I was cool with, but also sometimes like, I'll put it this way. I was small, and a lot of people don't understand this because when you see me now, I think I'm like 5'10" now. But when I was in high school, I was 4'11", like 95 pounds until I was a junior. So everybody else was towering over me. So like I had to use my intellectual wit, my conversation or whatever to kind of maneuver through. Like I never really started no problems with nobody, none of that. But it was always certain people that weren't necessarily troublemakers, but they was wild cards. And you was one of them people in high school to me that was a wild card because I never necessarily knew what you was going to do in the moment because you was funny, you was goofy, but also you had this kind of edge to you. I was like, don't fuck with Dion because like Dion got some other shit going on. And now that we got cooler, no, for real. And now that we got cool in the future and you told, and now that I know you were homeless during that, it all kind of makes sense because like that little bit of edge might have been like, yo, what am I eating today? Where am I sleeping today? You know, like, am I going to drink some good water? Am I going to, you know what I mean? So like, or also, you know what I mean? So like, that's just like weird, you know what I mean? And not to cut you off, but exactly. So,
you know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. So like at that point in time, like, although you might be like, like we weren't that cool, I always considered you, even when I was in high school, to be a friend because I was little. And one thing I remember about you, shout out to Peter Cottontail, who's Chance's drummer. It's funny, I was talking about him last night with the homie T, because the homie T's cousin actually plays in Chance's band sometimes, and they host parties and stuff together. But like T grew up a mile away from me, and I didn't know T until I became an adult. Yeah. So you know what I mean? But we all kind of but we went to school with Peter Cottontail, who's Chance's drummer and one of his producers. He had, big fro, big head, but I was little, so we would always make fun of each other. So when I would see you, me and you would always make fun of each other. Like on some random shit, just like being fun and cool. Then I might see you walk off, you dip off, but like I always consider you to be like a friend to me because whenever I saw you, it was always like love with you. But also I was like, I'm gonna make some jokes about Dion because also in high school, my mom would buy me a bunch of like crazy fresh clothes. I would have all these crazy pants, shoes and stuff. Yeah. And like, like you said in the first episode, you went to school without uniforms and you didn't have a uniform. So you usually have a hoodie on, a white shirt and some jeans on. Yep. I never made fun of your clothes because I'm like, Dion, Dion got a little edge, but also Dion might not be in the position that I'm in. Versus like the other niggas that dress fresh, I'm a clown they fit because they wore the wrong color. Like I remember one day I wore a creamsicle velour suit to school, and niggas was flaming me the whole day. But I had on a fresh ass Fat Farm creamsicle suit with some brand new white ones. I'm like, y'all can't talk shit to me. I don't care what I look like. So I'm shutting up. But so I say you always been my friend in my mind, and I'm glad that we became closer as adults. So for the people that kind of are piecing together our history, that's just my perspective hearing you say that. That's kind of my response to hearing you say that.
And not to mention, bro, you do know, like, let me explain something to you, to everybody that's listening. In high school, everybody because remember, I'm like 5'10" now. I didn't have this in high school. I was like, 5'3" or some shit. everybody under 5'5" knew everybody under 5'5". Okay, that's why all of us kind of like kicked it, because everybody knows the other small people. And so, you know, always remember this in high school, okay? The short people, they band together. It's like a neural network of just making sure we all survive amongst all the giants, okay? All you tall, big, gargantuan motherfuckers, like, just stay out the way, okay? Because, like, we just trying to survive at this point. We was fighting for our life. And so, like, I remember.
Hey, look, the funniest part about that is you say that, and, like, Jackie, one of your, you know, best friends, because Jackie always was tall, was fucking huge.
Yeah.
Tall. Didn't he play football too?
Yeah.
Tall, played football. How tall is Jackie? Like 6'4", something like that?
I think Jackie like 6'3" or something like that.
Okay, still, you know what I mean? Tall, played foot. Like, he had a grown man body when we was like 15. And that's no disrespect to you, Jackie. I'm just being honest. Like, think about it. I'm 4'11", G.
Yes.
Jackie, big ass, running around making jokes and playing football, G. Like, I never played basketball in high school because a nigga was too short.
Yeah.
Now when I go to the park, I be looking at people like, damn, you little as hell. I get it.
Yeah, for real, man. Let's hop into this though, man. Shout
That's
out.
That's a great segment, by the way. No, it is. And you know what? That'll be something that as we progress through these pods, because I will say this, and this is something that like is a lesson for anybody, and because also I feel like part of this is like us having fun, but I feel like part of it is imparting wisdom, and a lot of your wisdom comes from like life understandings and how many people you've helped. So you've had the opportunity to be able to meet and empathize with so many different people on different levels than I have. Absolutely. I'm more so working in entertainment. It's a lot more of a passive experience when you meet and interact with people. So like I understand that like sometimes we might go into some different directions for you as well as for the audience. But I will say this, as we get better, trust me, people will go back and listen to episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever, Absolutely. Because we will begin to reference those, and those will become reference points where you all can understand a little bit more of our dynamic and our relationships. So podcasters, don't be afraid to go off the script and talk about things like that, because those are what helps your audience to really get to understand the dynamic. And as we become more comfortable in talking, you all will become more comfortable in listening, because you understand the relationship a little bit more. So let's go ahead, Dion. And the funniest part is Dion, he told me when we first started, I'm not introing no topics. You do all of them. Look at him. Well, let's get into the first. So are you a backseat driver or are you not? That's the first topic. Dion, when you're not driving, are you like, you need to turn right there?
Nah. Yeah, I am.
I was about to say, we're gonna have to get some of them dream delivery drivers on here to spill the beans.
I'm a hypocrite, baby.
Because the man told me a million times, no, I don't feel that comfortable talking like that. Like, you introduce all the topics. I don't want to introduce none of that. He's like, let's get into the first topic. No, go ahead. Do your thing. Play and talk to us. Let us know what's happening.
Oh, could you shut up, man? But no, you know what's funny is I'm happy you giving me this moment, because favorite 90s songs, man. This is now I'm not.
Hold on. You skipped the whole topic. That was your part of the worst innocent mistake.
Why you didn't say nothing?
My half of it is. All right. I'm gonna make it real quick. I'm gonna make it 45 seconds left. Perfect clippable clip. Take you back to 2013. TPJ just first moved into LA. He was fine for 6 months, freelancing, flying back and forth, shooting music videos. Then the video gigs dried up. I'm like, damn, I need a job. But I just moved here. I don't know nobody. I don't have no car. I was living off $500 a month. Think about that nowadays. And so I get a job bagging groceries. So I'm bagging groceries at this Pavilions in West Hollywood. And it's raining. It's like rainy season in LA. So it's raining some of these days. And on good days, you'll meet some nice people. I meet this one lady. She had a belly, but also I was taking her groceries to her car. I saw the car seat in the car. I saw her belly. I was like, oh, congratulations. Like, I'm thinking and she was like,
oh, my heart.
Yeah, I just had my kid like 6 weeks ago. I was like,
you hit her postpartum?
I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm still sorry, Miss White Lady. I'm still sorry to this day.
Go in the store.
That's the worst. That's the worst innocent mistake I ever made in my life. I was like, I felt so bad because the look of devastation on her face, especially as someone that has had a child, and you understand that it takes a while for the woman's body to bounce back. I'm sorry, Miss White Lady. Back in 2013, if you ever see this clip, my bad.
2013 white lady press charges. That's it.
Hey, wait a minute.
Pull a Karen.
Whoa, we're not doing all of that. All right.
Pull a Karen. Press charges. Hurt feelings alert.
I will say a lot of people hate Mark Wahlberg, but I always give Mark Wahlberg a shout out because when I was bagging groceries at that Pavilions one day, he came in and bought like $800 worth of groceries, and I helped him take his groceries to his car. And he gave me $20. And I was like, yeah, we're not supposed to take tips. If they catch us on camera taking tips, like, we don't get in trouble. He put the money in my hand. He said, walk away from me. You keep that. You deserve that. And literally walked and got in his car. So shout out to Mark Wahlberg.
Listen.
I'm dead ass.
No, I'm not saying you're not. But for me, if you wouldn't have took it, he would have went 4 brothers on your ass. Okay? So I'm glad he didn't.
He ain't that goddamn big. Mark is not that goddamn big, bro. He would have had to show. We would have been in the parking lot, bro. Like Mark Wahlberg beats up a Pavilions grocery cart guy.
but also remember this: because of the roles and the fluctuations, he can bulk up on your ass. Even if you would have beat his ass, he would have spit the block. You think Bobby?
No, he played boxers in movies, and he's a boxer real. He would have whooped my ass. I'm just joking. And by the way, when I say these things, it's not so I can go name drop crazy. It's just some like when you live in LA, shit like that happens. I'm not clip farming. I'm not even gonna clip that Mark Wahlberg part.
You said he
did it out of the kindness of his heart.
Speaking of a white lady in a parking lot. Let me remind you of this famous white man in the parking lot.
I mean, y'all want me to well, I got another story. Shout out to Carucci. But Carucci cannot drive, bro. One day I was in the parking lot pushing them carts, and somebody pulled around in a parking lot in a Porsche 911. Fast as hell. Now, you know how in the parking lot sometimes you have a tree, so they'll have it's like the tree will stick out a little bit further than the rest of it.
The shrubbery.
No, but not even that. They'll make the parking space like a box that sticks a little bit further than the curb. So when you pull in, like sometimes you'll like it'll almost be like a line like this, and then in between it'll be like this because the tree is there and it's a little box.
Yeah, you're right.
Carucci pull into the parking lot fast as hell, thinking it's a regular spot, and it's where the tree was. All of a sudden you hear crunch. I'm like, who the fuck is driving this 911? All of a sudden I just see a little head like pop out because she like 4'11", and I'm like, is that Carucci?
Hey, he's saying like Chris Brown. Carucci.
I ain't say nothing to him. I'm like, is that Carucci? Carucci bad as hell. Shout out to Carucci. I'm like, I gotta take these carts in the store and walk in that store so I can see Carucci. Carucci, one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen in my life. I understand why he was screaming in the streets. All the rest of the shit, I don't understand. But that in particular, Carucci, I feel it. All right, favorite 90s songs. What you got? Man,
listen, I gotta go through a Rolodex because there's so many artists and songs. How about we go back and forth? We could do a 5. I ain't gonna say my top 5, but I'm gonna give out like 5 that I know is some hitters, some heat. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna start off Blackstreet, No Diggity.
Okay, I'm gonna go.
I got to.
I'm gonna go Too Close by Next. Ooh. Baby, when we're trying. Okay. Ooh, got a heater for you. Coming in hot. All right.
Mariah Carey, Always Be My Baby. Stop it. What? Whoa. Time out.
I'm not disrespecting your opinion. I like immediately one of my favorite party songs from the 90s came in my head because I'm thinking about the rapper's verse. Yeah. And then I look up whose song it is in my mind. I'm like, who sung that hook? And then remember how we was talking in one of the past episodes and we like, what did I say? Where's my royalties? It's him featuring Keith Murray, and I'm like, I can't even use that song. So I wasn't even thinking about your opinion. I'm like, damn, I can't even use that. Go ahead.
Listen, I got to sit up for this. It's gonna be a party, y'all. Keith Murray, rock.
Exactly, G. That's one of the. Also, we from Chicago. One of the first ones popped into my head. Go ahead.
Listen, I'm gonna let you say it because that song.
No, come on, man.
Come on, bro.
Look. And you know what's funny? I also wanted to have this conversation with you, but I didn't really want, because I want to have this conversation about a different guy, but I don't really want to bring this guy into this podcast because his world is of a different world at this point in time. Even though I feel like a lot of what I recognize in him, I can empathize because I see a black trauma, not all else. I see black dad trauma. But with this person in particular, in terms of Robert Kelly, separating the artist from the music is damn near impossible. He has made too much art, as with the other person. He has made way too much art for you to just be like, he does not exist anymore. Including songs for people like Mike. He's written some of the greatest songs of all time. Dog,
listen, I'm gonna tell you this, right?
It's hard for me to deal with that, especially being from the crib. Go ahead.
It's all about the person's comfort. For me, what I realized is that, unfortunately, when it comes to black artists, they tell us to, you can't separate the art from the artist. But look at Elvis. He was a pedophile, bro. A pedophile. Clip art that shit. Elvis was a pedophile, bro. Married a 14-year-old. What are we talking about here? What are we talking about? Not just smashing a 14-year-old, marrying a 14-year-old. Elvis is trash, and he stole all his art. What are we talking about here? So you know what? At the end of the day, I'm not gonna. If that is something that you want to,
you gotta stop podcasting me, bro. I'm gonna get you in trouble, G.
Hey, listen. All I'm saying is this:
you gotta run for Congress one day, G. Get off this podcast, with me, bro. Get off this pod. You gotta run for Congress one day, G. Get the fuck off this podcast with me, man. Listen. Get your ass off this podcast.
I'm gonna hop off that soapbox. I'm gonna let you say that song, but Mariah Carey always be my baby.
Oh yeah,
my number 2. That is, people do not understand. There are certain songs that have transcended the decade, have transcended the artist into being in all-time bop and always be my baby. Mariah Carey, thank you so much. Thank you. Because always be my baby, you just don't understand. Man, listen, come on now. Stop it. Mariah Carey, always be my baby. You got yours. I'm gonna let you pick it.
My next song is I said R. Kelly, Home Alone featuring Keith Murray. I'm from Chicago, one of the greatest rap songs ever made. Well, actually one of the greatest hip hop songs, because that's not so much to me an R&B song. It's more of a rap song. That's like when Kels is kind of, even his flow, it was more like singing. It's more like what Drake do when he sing rap. Yes. I'm gonna say that song. I got my third one already ready. You can't leave it out.
Okay, let me see. Number 3, 90s songs. Gotta go. You know what? I'm gonna throw a curveball at you. Okay.
All right, let's go. What you got?
Maya and Blackstreet, Take Me There.
Okay. Listen, all right.
Hey, Gen Z, let me put you on game real quick.
Hold on, wait a minute. I got to, okay, it was 98. I had to fact check real quick.
Oh, no, I know, because listen.
Because also 2000s, that music kind of blend a little bit with the 90s. So I had to look at like, damn, this song come out there?
Cool, I know. Because Gen Z don't understand that certain movies, their albums had certified bops, okay? Maya featuring Blackstreet, Take Me There. Let's go there, take me there. Let's go there to take me to. Stop it. Certified bop, 90s bop. I knew it was 98.
That will 1,000,000% be a clip.
Absolutely, it should.
And I'm syncing the music up to it too. So go do 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 do.
Listen. Tag Maya Blackstreet. Okay, we can do a reunion tour because that song is a certified '90s bop. What's your third one?
Third one is the to me top 5 greatest rap songs of all time. Notorious B.I.G. Juicy.
Whoo.
R.I.P. Biggie. R.I.P. Miss Wallace.
You ain't go. Give us a. How do it start?
What do you mean?
How do
to all the ladies in the place with style and grace.
A lovely,
which I will say, some Biggie lyrics is wild. Allow me to place this lyrical bushes. I'm sorry. Allow me to place these lyrical douches in your bushes. What?
No. We ain't gonna talk about that one.
He got like 8 of them.
No, the man said you so fine. We can't.
Yeah, I don't know what's. Oh yeah, I
don't know what he was talking about.
Yeah, listen, like I said, Dion got to run for Congress. I can't say that on this podcast.
But if you was here, we'd say pause. Okay. Let's see. Number 4. Oh man, we gonna have to say it, man. We gonna have to stop, drop, shut them down, open up shop. Oh.
Okay, I ain't mad at that.
That's a rough rider. Oh, they just want to try. Come on, man, stop it. Hey, listen, if you talking the 90s, like first of all, shout out to Earl, okay? DMX, listen to me. People don't understand. DMX, next level. You all really don't understand who DMX was. He was really that guy. To the point where Jay-Z said he didn't understand what performing was until seeing DMX perform. Understanding what you could do. DMX would go from praying to rapping some of the hardest lyrics, covered in blood and no shirt, tank top ripped off with some Timbs on. Come on, man. Shout out DMX, man. Yeah, absolutely, man. What's yours?
For me, for my next one, I'm going to say Mac Morrison. Mac has actually been in the news recently. He was arrested recently. I think I saw it on TMZ. But Return of the Mac. Return of the Mac. One of the greatest songs. I'm not gonna lie. Facts. Like as someone, like I mentioned before on this show, I got a lot of DJ friends, so randomly they had tables or whatever, so I end up outside. Return of the Mac is one of the songs from the 90s that you still will most likely hear at least once a night, every night when you outside.
Absolutely.
Every night.
All right.
What you got?
My last one, I got to. It's the 90s. Let me go ahead and pay homage to Dr. Dre and Snoop D-O-double-G.
Okay, I ain't mad at that.
Bruh, listen, nothing but a G thing. I think 90s, like, just Dr. Dre, Snoop, one of the best just 1-2s in history when it comes to music that just understand each other. Like, that song, dog. Oh, I got one more after this. I got it. I got to. I got one more after that. I have to say it because like what that song do for me is it immediately feels like warm weather. It just immediately like feels like, you just ride and it's just, come on, man. Easy. What's yours?
For me, I got to go with Tupac's I Get Around. Probably for me, I would say other than Michael Jackson's Thriller, I would say other than Michael Jackson's Thriller, Biggie's Juicy, and yeah, I'll probably say those are the 3 most memorable videos for me in the 90s. Those are, and that video was just memorable because, it's funny now that I live in LA. I randomly watched the movie, the Little Rascals the other night because I hadn't watched it since in 20 some years. And I looked and I'm like, oh, that's downtown LA. They shot this movie in LA. I've been programming myself since I was a kid to get here. And if you ask most people that know me most of my life, I've been telling them I was going to eventually move to LA and make movies. But I watched that movie and I was like, damn, this is where the inspiration and the passion to want to come here and do this, because I probably saw this when I was a kid, saw the movie in the background, and I was like, oh, I want to make something like this movie. And I'm like, where did they do that at? You know what I mean? So I Get Around was one of the first rap videos where I remember seeing palm trees and a party. And it was literally just a party, them running around having fun, pool party. But that video, the way they used the fast and the slow motion, all the other kind of stuff, I just love that video. And the melody is crazy. R.I.P. Shock G. You know what I mean? Mr. Humpty
Absolutely.
Dumpty, great verse on that song. And I believe he made that beat. Shock G low-key made some of the greatest rap beats of all time. So RIP Shock G, man.
Absolutely. Side note, I'm gonna meet Ryan Coogler so that I can introduce him to you so that you could get your movie thing. We got to get back on that. Absolutely.
Oh no, I got 5 features in the chamber. I got a TV show about my life, like in LA.
Yeah,
I got a lot of shit in the chamber. I got a lot of heat in the chamber. I know y'all. I met this girl at the club. She's like, "What you do?" I'm like, "I do a lot." And I told her like what I do. She's like, "Yeah, but you say you're an entrepreneur. How do you make money?" I said, "Well, I make money off doing work. Like what you mean? Like it's the same as any other business."
But you're not average though. That's the thing. The
point, because I told her I make music, I do films, and I run a podcast network that where we do sports. So like, well, how do you do all of it? And I'm thinking all of it ties into each other. Like that intro song from this pod, I made as a beat. My sports network, you know what I mean? Filmmaking, I gave you all the gear. That's filmmaking. Telling you what to buy. You know what I mean? It's all the same.
I understand what you're saying, but the average person's stuff is not connected into a universe. So I would argue that your intentionality is not normal. So I can't even blame her because the average person that says that is not connecting everything. So shout out to you for being dope.
And not to rebut that, but I like this is where my ego as a dreamer comes in because I did a podcast with a friend a couple years ago where he was just interviewing me about my life. And he was like, all right, well, like you do all these different things. Like, what are you an expert in? I'm like, all of it. He's like, well, how can you be an expert filmmaker, but also an expert journalist? So, well, because I put in the time to make that happen. He's like, yeah, but like in order for you to be great at something, you have to put in 10,000 hours at that one thing. And I'm like, yeah, I get that. But if I'm spending time in conjunction working on all these different things at the same time, you have to inherently get better at every single thing. Like if you look at the first Hoops and Brews, the graphic design on it was terrible. But if you look at the graphics for Dion Chief Dreamer podcast, it looks amazing. I designed all of that. I had to get better as a graphic designer, as a filmmaker, as a technician, as an audio guy, as a lighting guy. You know what I mean? All those. So don't let anybody limit what you can do because they tell you that you have to focus on one thing to be an expert on it, especially in today's day and age where content is currency. Because you should, as a content creator, be able to light your own scenes, set up your own camera, run your own audio, and be able to edit it and upload it and publish it. And if you can't, you're a step behind everybody. So that's not to, be argumentative. It's just like it is possible and you see it all the time. Don't let people limit you with that type of thinking because otherwise I would just only still be behind the camera trying to find a director of photography, an editor, someone to do the sound for my podcast and my videos. And then my podcast never comes out. So my bad.
Right. No, absolutely. And on that note, I'm going to finish with the last song, just an honorable mention. Will Smith, Summertime. Have to. It's just, like that beat, man. I tell you, bro, there's some beats that just immediately like transform where you are mentally, right? And when you play Will Smith, Summertime, when it feels good outside, and you in a car, or even if you walking and you got your headphones on, you know what I mean? Like it's just something different, man. And I think what I love about that is I appreciate the 90s. First of all, I don't know if in human history we will ever have a decade like the 90s, where it was the renaissance of so many different art forms. Where you have music and film and dance and just all art forms, man. And I'm just thankful that even though, I was a younger kid, being the youngest of 4 boys, I experienced the 90s a few different ways because, I remember how my brothers went through it, how I went through it. But to just feel the 90s, man, and to look back on that decade, man, got to give it up for the 90s, man. And everybody that put the culture. I can't hear you.
I had no clue. That's funny. I'm the oldest of 4 boys and you're the youngest of 4 boys.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. I'm the youngest of 4 boys.
I have 2 younger sisters too, but me and my brothers were underneath my parents.
Absolutely. And dude, like the night, shout out to everybody that like, quarterback the culture in the 90s, man. Because that was just that decade, dude, for art and for culture, and for blackness, the power and the inspiration that we get from the 90s, dude. You know what I mean? It's just we were so spoiled. I'm not gonna lie, we were spoiled, we were lucky. From TV shows to movies to music to talk shows. You know what I mean? Shout out Arsenio Hall. You know what I'm saying? Like, people don't know, like, we had, hanging with Mr. Cooper. You know what I'm saying? Like, all of these just random things that when I get older, I remember, man. So shout out to 90s, man. And we didn't even scratch the surface. We might have to do at some point a 90s themed episode.
Now I got another name drop.
Talk to me.
Shout out to Mr. Mark Curry, aka Hanging with Mr. Cooper. Never mind. I'm not gonna tell the story. Okay. For you, not for me. If it was on one of my shows on my network, I wouldn't care. But for you, I'm not gonna tell the story.
Thank you for protecting me.
Just know that I met Mark Curry one day, and he's a very, very nice guy. Very, very nice guy, and it was dope to see Mr. And it's dope, and it was dope for me to be like, damn, for me to have grown up watching him as Mr. Cooper and then to see him like a real life environment and for him to just be like way cooler than I thought. Like, he's low key one of the coolest comedians I've ever met. And I used to be the creative director of the Laugh Factory. Mark Curry is one of the coolest comedians I've ever met. Shout out to Mark Curry. All right, I got a question for you. And then it's going to lead to the next topic that's kind of really underneath this, which is the 70s versus 2020 players. So LeBron went on Pat McAfee's show, and he was basically talking about how if guys in today's NBA played in the 70s, how a person like Giannis would have 250 points in a game. And then Giannis was asked about this post game by a reporter. And he asked the reporter what they thought. And then the reporter responded. And then Giannis responded by saying, like, yeah, you could say that. But if I lived in the 70s, I would have to live how they live. I would probably be playing the game the way that they play the game, because there is, like, you can talk about the evolution of the game. But if I'm back then and there, like, there's just because I am me, that doesn't mean that I would be doing the things that I'm doing now back then, because the game has evolved. And I would probably be playing more like the players did back then than the way that I play now, which is, Giannis's style since he's been in the NBA for the past 10 to 13 years has really, like, he's been what Wilt Chamberlain was. But without the, like, a lot of people don't notice about Wilt Chamberlain, but Wilt Chamberlain was an Olympic level athlete. Like, he was a great, like, one of the greatest long jumpers of all time. Very, very fast, great high jumpers. He was 7'1" with a 40 something plus inch vertical. Like, imagine that. That means you getting off the ground. That means if you 7'1", you got a 40 something inch vertical, you getting 12 feet in the air when you jump. Giannis is probably, when he was younger, maybe a little bit less than that. But like, the game has evolved to where Giannis can shoot threes. He can shoot mid-range jumpers versus Wilt. Those guys, they were all at the rim. They were strong, but they got beat up a lot. So that made me want to ask you a question, because obviously we're moving into this new day and age where we get AI, all this other stuff, and everybody's talking about the new. Does new equal better to you, Dion? Talk to me.
Absolutely not. I think that new can be, or potentially could be better, but new does not always equate to better. And I think that, we've seen this play out on the local as well as national stage, where, people think that because there's a new voice, that automatically means that person is better. We have a new product, so, they automatically think that new product is better. And I just don't believe that. I think that there's a lot of learning. I would argue that for me, I did not get better until I respected history and saw interest in history when it comes to where my work is. And so I would emphatically disagree with new being better, just as a blanket statement. I would never just use that as a blanket statement. No.
Yeah, there's a saying that I believe it is, you don't know, how can you know where you're going if you don't know where you've been?
Yep.
And I think that is a very, very true statement. I'm not going to, I'm going to, because a lot of the times you and I will, just because we are phone people, well, you're a phone person, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I've slowly, because I deal with so many people in like micro interactions, like I'm not really like a phone person, but if I have your phone number and you call me, I will talk to you for however long you want to talk, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But so you call me a lot, and actually you in particular FaceTime me a lot. So like you can look at my face, which partially I hate. Cause cause like it's easy to just kind of get through a conversation with people not looking at.
Yeah. Cause you be lying, bro.
So like sometimes you would call me and look at my face like, how you doing, bro? I'm like, I'm good. You're like, nigga, stop lying to me. What's going on? I'm like, man, I don't even want to talk about this shit.
You be lying. No, listen. It's so funny.
All right, bro. Nigga be calling me. Yeah, stop lying, bro.
Hey, you don't lie no more because, dude.
Because I don't want to hear you talk shit to me for the next 30 minutes about how I wasn't honest with you. So I'm like, all right, fuck it.
You remember back in the day when we saw Mr. Spacely line George Jetson up, you know what I'm saying, on video, bro. That's what I'm on with everybody, bro. I'm on Mr. Spacely time, bro. I'm FaceTiming all you.
Man, brother, them Generation Z definitely, but what the hell is he talking about?
Yeah, man.
Go back and watch the Jetsons.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So, so I, like there's a lot of these topics I be thinking about, just like, stuff based upon kind of conversations that we might have had, and kind of how it relates to certain stuff like this. Yeah. And I want to bring up this next topic in particular because LeBron as a father versus Stephen A. Smith as a parent. He's a parent, but he's really just like a talking head. And also I got a little Stephen A. Smith conspiracy. Shout out to a guy that a lot of people don't like because they feel like he's a right winger and a conspiracy theorist. No, not Rob Parker. I'm talking about Jason Whitlock. I don't agree with Jason Whitlock. Has my favorite show on television. I don't agree, and it's like hate watching, like the way people watch like what's that called, the Island show or whatever on Netflix. That's how I watch Jason Whitlock because he is historically known as a journalist as being one of the greatest journalists of all time. But he kind of went and got saved and kind of took his perspective, which was like a very brash, kind of like me, very brash, open. Used to talk about going to strip clubs and partying, doing all kind of crazy stuff, to now like he's this very ultra conservative Christian type of figure. So it's kind of hard for people that have been used to him being critical, but also being a bastard to kind of get saved and change. So I still listen to and follow him because I've been watching him since he was a kid since I was a kid on Around the Horn, PTI, all those shows. And sometimes I watch it and I literally spend the whole time screaming at him. But sometimes I watch it and agree, and he has a conspiracy theory about Stephen A. But this LeBron versus Stephen A. thing. LeBron claims he went up to Stephen A. or pro Stephen A. as a father because of the things that Stephen A. said about his adult son, who is a player for the Lakers. Stephen A. rebutted with, hey, I wasn't talking smack about your son. I was talking to you and saying that you were putting your son in a bad position. Right. And obviously we're adults. And you have a son. I don't have a son. I have a daughter. So I'm probably, my nature is a little bit more overprotective with my daughter because, women, honestly, everybody tends to get abused in this world, but we want to try to look out for our daughters, especially because I do believe the saying is true. Like a father is their daughter's first love. You're the person that teach your daughter about love and compassion and respect and those types of things. So obviously I can't speak to what you can teach your son. So what are your thoughts as a father on this LeBron Stephen A. thing? Is LeBron being an overprotective parent? Is there such thing as that? Talk to us for about 2 minutes because I got to run to the bathroom, but let us know what you think about it. I'm going to make sure I can hear it from my computer.
Yeah, no, I think that when you look at this LeBron and Stephen A. Smith thing, I like to look at the facts. If you look at the facts, then you can ultimately kind of get to your conclusion. Don't start with opinion, start with facts. The facts of the matter is that Stephen A. said, I'm talking to LeBron James, the father. Once he said, I'm talking to LeBron James as a father or the father, he opened up the door for the dialogue with LeBron James, the father. And so once you open up, the chimney, don't be surprised when it's smoke. What Denzel say? Don't pray for the rain and get mad that there's mud. And I just think that with, this generation, we have a situation that is seeing it kind of come to the head of, are you willing to back up what you say? And what we're seeing in real time is, Stephen A. Smith, is doing a whole lot of clip farming. And he was ultimately approached and held accountable for what he said. Now, if he never said the words, I'm talking to LeBron James, the father, I think that the way that LeBron handled it would have been wrong. But you shoot at the king, you bet not miss. You know what I mean? What he did was he actively talked, in a crazy way about one of the top 2 greatest basketball players of all time, one of a current top 10 NBA player, who's also a billionaire, and who also did not make it a physical interaction. It was a verbal one. And I think that, if you look at the strategy and everything involved.
All right, this is where I come back in.
Hold on.
Okay, go ahead. I'm gonna let you finish because I gotta respond.
It's cool. But I think that, I think Stephen A is shocked by LeBron James' strategy. You know what I mean? I think I don't see if anyone could have guessed, no one before LeBron going to Pat McAfee would have guessed LeBron would have did a 60-minute sit down. Period. It wasn't anything that people thought he would have done. And so I think that, what is happening is, LeBron is responding in real time. And when it comes to what Stephen A said, when you open up that door to LeBron James as a parent, he just responded. Would I have necessarily done what LeBron did? Probably not. But I mean, hey, he handled it the way he handled it. But to say, he's being overprotective, stop it. I think that is intrinsic to the parent. No one can say, because we don't know the highs, the lows, the experiences, the traumas. So to say, you're being an overprotective parent. Now you can say you don't understand their parenting style. You can say, okay, I don't, I would have done it differently. But to just immediately say it's overprotective, yeah. But when LeBron was saying nothing, it was okay. You know what I mean? If someone has been going on and on, you know what I'm saying, about Lola, you know what I mean? And then you respond and they say, you're being overprotective? Nah. You know what I mean? It's fair game. I just think that people disagree with what he did, and that's cool because I don't necessarily look at it as right or wrong. I just think that they're just being who they are. You know what I mean? And for as much as LeBron don't respond, now that he's responding, they say, we don't want the calculated LeBron. We want the real LeBron. Well, then when he pull up on him after that third quarter.
That's why I disagree with the phrase that it wasn't a physical altercation.
No. Stop it. So
you walk up and you invade my space for just 3 feet and you start screaming and cursing at me. You invaded my personal space because I don't do that to people. I don't do that. No. I let you talk. I don't do that to people. Don't fucking walk up in my face and start screaming and cursing at me. That is a physical interaction. What you talking about? You come up to me, and then like he came up to me and said, hey, and shook his hand. Hey, Stephen A, how you doing, bro? Like, can you ease up off my son? No, you walked up to me with all these cameras around and 19,000 people in crypto.com arena, knowing someone was going to see that shit, and you got in my fucking face and started screaming and cursing at me. That is a physical interaction. Look, this is where and I've said this on my own show. Wait, let me finish real quick. Physical. Let me get one off because I want to explain to you what the life is like. And this is also goes back to my point earlier about being a multi-hyphenate. This is where my thousands of hours as a reporter and a journalist come into play. Because you might not know this, But and actually you do know this because you didn't be in the sideline at the Bulls game. So I'm sure you'd have to walk through the tunnels at the UC, and you know where the locker room is, you know where the press room is, you know where the little VIP section to get the food in the back is. Usually you see some weights out there where the players might be warming up or whatever, right?
Yep.
So there's pregame availability as a media member. You are able to walk up to the up onto the court where you used to be able to before COVID, right? Yep. By the sidelines. You can also post media availability. Stephen A was not even there as a media member. He was there as someone that was a guest on the halftime thing. And on the front row. And Stephen A even said, all of the players know all of the celebrities that are going to sit in the front row because they let the players know before the game who's sitting there. So LeBron knew that I was going to be sitting there. LeBron waited until the third quarter. This is Stephen A. Smith we're talking about. I've literally walked into the arena at the same time as Stephen A. Smith and his bodyguard. Going into the arena pregame. That man can walk around. He got carte blanche to do whatever the fuck he want to do at Crypto.com arena. Meaning that if you're LeBron and you know Stephen A. is there, gonna be sitting there at halftime, you know Stephen A. is not just gonna like come out the aisle from the 200 section to walk to the half court. You know Stephen A. gonna be in the press room before. He gonna be in the hallways before. He gonna be roaming around the court before. So you waited until it was the perfect opportune time to humiliate him in front of the world via a physical altercation when he had numerous opportunities before that to do that. And that is why I've argued numerous times over the past couple of weeks, LeBron was wrong. And LeBron, as the person that's supposed to be the bigger and the better person. No. You got to interact with that differently.
So let me.
You got to interact with it, and don't go on Pat McAfee talking shit about Brian Windhorst. What the fuck is Brian Windhorst 300-pound ass gonna do to somebody?
Hold on. First of all, let's.
That's the journalist in me talking to y'all.
No, it's cool. Hold on, and I get that. Let me shoot one off. Number one, okay. Stephen A. has done whatever he's wanted to do and talk to whoever he wanted to talk to. So first of all, you saying, oh, don't go on Pat McAfee. We're all human. We're all adults. We all have agency. He can go on whatever show he wants to. That's number one.
No, I don't care about him going on Pat McAfee. I'm not critical of him going on Pat McAfee.
I'm about to go to I'm getting to my point. You know I meant physical by hands. I'm not saying that your definition of physical is not the same as it's different than mine, even though it's looking like it is. I still I disagree. I
think the internet disagrees with you, which is why Stephen A. went on his show and said, if LeBron would have grabbed me or tried to swing on me, I would have swung on him because it was a physical altercation.
But listen, but using other people's opinion to devalue mine.
It's my opinion too.
No. I'm not saying that. But you just said, listen, I'm trying to respond, and you're giving me more stuff to respond to. So what I'm saying is, you said, oh, the internet disagrees. I don't give a shit. Hey, internet, I love you. I don't give a shit if you disagree. It's my opinion. So no. I know you do. I'm saying in response to what you said. So I know you are, but I'm just merely saying you saying them disagreeing will not change how I feel. Just like me saying how I feel won't change how you feel. So number one, internet, I love you, but hey, step to the side. What I'm saying is this. If we're going to have a conversation, not just me and you, but I'm talking about more so like a structured dialogue around a lot of different pain points of this situation, I don't think that either of them got out of this unscathed. So I'm not saying that I can
agree with you there. I have said that publicly on one of my shows that I think that both of them look bad in this situation.
Exactly. Now, with that being said, I'm acknowledging that we're human. And the problem is that, and you know this to be true about you as a parent, about me as a parent. When it comes to parenting, dog, at a certain point, strategy goes out the fucking window, okay? And you got to regroup because what you thought you could do calmly, you cannot. And so what I'm saying is that when it comes to this situation with LeBron and Stephen A. Smith, when you said When Stephen A. Smith said, "I'm talking to LeBron James, the parent," that changed the entire. We're not talking about the business mogul. We're not talking about the basketball player. We're talking because Stephen A. set the terms for who he was talking to. And when it comes to a part of their identity of okay, I would kill for my kids. That's the difference. When we're talking about a part of your identity where you would kill for who you're representing. Now, the bigger thing is you don't know that person. Stephen A. has seen LeBron James. All of us have seen LeBron James as a basketball.
And that's where I disagree with you. Stephen A. is one of the most notoriable figures in media history. Hold on, wait a second. One of the most notable. Just let me rebut real quick.
Go ahead.
And this is great conversation, by the way.
Of course.
I actually love this, and I don't know if you got to go soon, but I'm glad that we can let these unfold. These are gonna be some great clips. But like Stephen A. is one of the most notoriable media figures of all time, right?
Got you.
And this is why I said my experience as a reporter can allow me to critique this situation objectively, because as a parent, I do understand LeBron. But at the end of the day, LeBron did that at the workplace. He didn't do that at a restaurant or on a sidewalk or in public or in private. He did it at work, which is a place where although it's the funniest part, Stephen A. was not at work that day. So technically you physically came up and verbally accosted a fan at the game.
Got you.
But because we know that Stephen A. is not a fan, that he is a notoriable sports a figure that does not play sports, but it is a part of the lexicon of great journalists and sports personalities. That is why LeBron sought that opportunity there to do that. Because if Stephen A. was a rapper, LeBron wouldn't have did that. If he was Usher, LeBron would have did that. He did that to Stephen A. because that is saying, okay, we both operate in the same arena. Let me show you who is the king.
Right. Now,
I guarantee you LeBron could have used way worse language with Stephen A. and got way more physically imposing in them dark tunnels that we walk through to get out to the bright shining court. That's my only point.
No. But see, here's the funny thing. We're agreeing. I am not saying to you that LeBron did not know what he was doing. It was definitely a flex of his power. But all I'm saying to you is that those without that power, who have never had that power, cannot say what they would do with that power. All I'm saying is at the end of the day, and again, that framing that you used of he accosted a fan. I totally agree. I cannot argue that. I cannot argue that if he was there in a personal capacity while LeBron is there in a professional one, I cannot then disagree with that framing. All I am saying is that I am honing in on the power piece.
But this is a part of that, because at the same token, that was the same day in which which it was announced that Stephen A. got paid $100 million by ESPN. You think LeBron don't see that? You think LeBron? No. We know he's on the internet. We know he follow all the pages. So you see Stephen A. get $100 million. They like, oh, they give you the list of celebrity row for the Lakers game. You're like, oh, Stephen A. gonna be here, and Bronny, he ain't playing in the G League tonight. Yeah. Oh, I'm on his ass tonight. But that is what makes that wrong and weak from LeBron, because LeBron could have handled that and humiliated Stephen A. Smith to the point where everybody behind the scenes is like, yo, y'all should have seen what happened with LeBron and Stephen A. last night. That shit was crazy. But instead, he did that in front of the world and then looked at the camera after he did it. That's fake.
No, that's fake. It's stylistic.
At that point, it's not about Bronny. It's about LeBron ego. It ain't even about LeBron the parent. It's like, yo, I'm gonna get my get back on TV.
But listen to what you're saying, though. Number one, first off, let me explain something to you. Shoot at the king, you better not miss. Me as Dion, like Thomas. When people shoot at me, I choose how I shoot back. Period. Can't nobody that shot a shot at me talk shit about how I shoot my shot. I don't care what it is. And anybody, you can say it's an ego play, whatever. It has always been about Bronny and LeBron. He did not say, hey, Bronny, I'm coming to you as a kid. Talk to your father. He said, hey, LeBron. And so all I'm saying is that what you're...
There's a larger discussion here, too. About is Bronny a kid or is he a grown man that's playing basketball?
But listen, all I'm saying is this. You're saying, oh, LeBron did it for... And look how many people came at Jay-Z. Jay-Z responded to Tony Busby. You feel me? All I'm saying is it ain't fun when the rabbit got the gun. You hear me? Okay? When the rabbit got the gun, you don't tell the rabbit how to fucking shoot. I don't care. Listen, they could say it's his ego. They could say, oh, he should have been better. Fuck all of that. You don't tell somebody when they got to be the bigger person, period. And if Thomas would have did it differently, that's fine. If Dion would have did it differently, that's fine. But we don't get to dictate how someone handles a situation. It don't work like that. This is real life. And at the end, and I'm sorry, because we also are in an era where people aren't used to getting belt to ass. And Stephen A has slowly crept toward what Skip Bayless became, which is no accountability for the words that come out your fucking mouth. He did it, and imagine, just like you're talking about, oh, he embarrassed. Listen, you talking about all these people, oh, he embarrassed. And I get it, you're a journalist. But on the flip side, how many motherfuckers appreciated that he did it, though? We are in a world where people don't understand the consequences of the word they use. And I'm not saying LeBron, I'm not saying...
I disagree. I understand it. And you want to know why I say I understand it? Because that's why I don't talk about rappers. Because a lot of my friends is DJs and they interact with these rappers. Yeah. And I be in the club because my friends is DJs with these rappers. So that's why you don't hear me speaking on none of these rappers. Now, don't get me wrong. The Drake versus Kendrick shit, I've been talking about it since it happened because obviously it's unavoidable. So if Drake ever see me in one of the clubs and want to come and have one of his goons beat me up, then that's on Drake. He's done. No, I'm for real. He's done it before. He's done it before. I know. He's done it before. But I'm not going to stop speaking about what's going on in the world because Drake want to be sensitive about him losing a rap battle. And if you LeBron and you take your son and you platform him, sorry, that's the alarm for my daughter's FaceTime. My daughter FaceTime at the same time. My bad. Okay. But if you LeBron and you platform your son in a manner at which we haven't really seen in a manner like this, at which we have one of the greatest athletes saying, my son got to play on a team with me or I'm not signing a contract. And he waited until afterwards to sign his extension once his son was drafted. Then it's not the same thing as you losing a rap battle. You losing a rap battle was something you decided to participate in openly and willingly based upon a personal vendetta. You willing your son and propping up your son and tweeting out that your son is better than some of the players in the NBA. And then your son gets in the NBA and he not better than 98% of those guys. Like, he might be better than the 15th guy on most teams, but I don't necessarily even believe that. And a lot of people say, well, he played good in the G League. Shout out to Isaiah Thomas, not IT from Chicago, Lil IT. Lil IT every year gets signed to a G League contract. He go out, he drop 30, 40, and then he never make the NBA again. So the G League is not the same as the NBA. It's the minor league of the NBA. So yes, you can go and play good in the minor leagues. That doesn't mean you're built for the real shit. And then people say, well, he scored 17 in the game. If you actually watch the game, they was down by 12 to 30 the whole time he was in the game.
Now hear me. Everything you're saying.
So the criticism towards his son's play is valid. And I do agree Stephen A crossed the line. But I do believe that you as LeBron cannot go and accost people that are fans or media members during the middle of work. Do it before, after you get off of work.
But remember the framing.
Because you got all these little kids watching and following you. And there's a certain precedent that you can set. And I gave my homie this example. Bronny, a grown man, right? He's 6'3", 190 pounds, right? Stephen A, I think, is 6'3", probably 180 pounds. For real, in real life. The better lesson would have been to say, yo, Bronny, you see Stephen A over there? Go walk up to him, shake his hand, introduce yourself to him and say, I would love to get to know you more so that way you can have some better conversations about me and my dad. And in a non-confrontational manner, Bronny then goes and is able to gain the upper hand in that situation, because now everybody gonna be wondering, what did Bronny say to you, Stephen A? You've been critical of him and his dad. What did he say to you? And then when Stephen A says, well, Bronny just walked up to me respectfully and said, hey, I just want to build a better relationship between me and you so you can stop saying negative things about me and we can move forward in a better manner. Bronny and LeBron would have came out of that situation looking so much better. Like, you're not supposed to get in the mud. And that's what LeBron chose to do. And just because you a dad, you don't mean you choose to get in the mud. Sometimes it's a better lesson. That's my only point.
No, but again, this is me acknowledging that's your style. That's your decision. That's what Thomas would have done. That's cool. All I am saying, because we're kind of saying the same thing, but what I'm saying is, but niggas get in the mud. You feel me? This is real life. Niggas get in the mud and get dirty. You feel me? And me and you both have been on the other side of that dad having a fiery fucking conversation. And if they had the choice to retaliate, if you had the choice to retaliate, if I had the choice to retaliate before being afforded the opportunity to calm down, to trusting someone to guide you in a better manner, we would have made a decision that would have saw more mud get on us than we would have wanted. And all I'm saying is like, I get this. And again, this is not even us disagreeing on like both of them being wrong. I agree with you. Like both, like, and I'm speaking to logic, every step of the way and questioning it because I love how dynamic this situation is. This is really, really like dynamic at the highest level. Both of them were wrong, period. Stephen A crossed the line, LeBron crossed the line. But what I'm speaking to is, okay, now that we have talked about both of them crossing the line, we don't, as the outer party or as the viewer, we don't have the right to say, oh, man, they should have done this. You know what I mean? We can say, hey, I would have done this. And I can say, you know what? Yeah. Because I can agree with you that I don't know if I would have, you know me, I love strategy. I don't know if I would have played it like that. But I think that we get in these situations of, we've seen LeBron James traverse thousands of interactions. And this one time, and I'm not saying you're saying that like he can't come back from or anything like that. Like,
no. It's nothing but like if you fell off your bike and you scraped your arm a little bit. I'm not saying this is in a negative way. I'm just saying that like I look at LeBron and what he has become, and I've said this numerous times publicly. I believe LeBron is a top 100 human being to live when you account for everything that he has become, what he's dealt with, and he stayed clean. In large part, I'm behind the scenes. I don't hear about no LeBron scandals. No, and I hear about and I see a lot of athletes doing a lot of crazy stuff, whether I'm being a journalist or I'm just hanging out. So I'm not disrespecting LeBron or think that, but I just thought that it was just a better learning lesson for Bronny there. And at that particular point, he became too much of an overprotective dad. Whereas if it was his daughter, I would understand. But with his son, I felt like there was a lesson to be learned for his son. That's my point.
But see, I don't.
I'll put it this way. Privately, like I said, if he would have did that in the tunnels, I wouldn't have cared. And publicly, if you want to still humiliate Stephen A. and give your son that lesson, you have your son go and speak positively, because you also know Stephen A. not going to come at Bronny with no crazy energy because he know his camera's around.
But I don't. So
even if you screamed at him and then you sent your son to go, shake hands to be like, all right, we gonna break bread. Let's move in a different path. The question and all of the questions from the media, me as a media member, gonna be, well, Stephen A., what the fuck happened? And instead of it being LeBron came up to me screaming and cursing at me, and if he would have swung on me, I would have swung on him back. It would have been, yeah, LeBron came and screamed and cursed at me in the tunnel, and I didn't think I deserved that. But then when Bronny came up to me in the middle of the game and introduced himself, and he was a kind young man, I realized that I gotta, I need to be a little bit more kinder with my words, because LeBron is doing the thing that I criticized him about, which I essentially criticize his parenting and him putting him on his platform, when instead he's teaching Bronny how to navigate that. And I think that would have been a valuable lesson. Not saying LeBron was wrong. I'm just saying I think it was a lesson to be learned from that. And hopefully other people will see that and learn that lesson.
And there's still, again, like they still learned. I disagree with the son versus daughter thing. I think that like regardless, like some of these aren't gender norms, you know what I mean? And I want to be careful about like how we approach it, because like, it's, I'm just saying certain
when you got a 20-year-old young man, you should allow him the grace enough to go and speak on his own behalf, because all of this, if Bronny didn't exist, none of this we wouldn't be talking about. Wait.
So if it was a 20-year-old woman, she couldn't speak on her behalf? Oh, look, we'll get that later.
No. That's not what I'm saying. Because I said LeBron went and spoke on Bronny's behalf.
No, you said
listen to what I'm saying. I literally said that the better lesson was for LeBron to confront him privately and let Bronny be the person to be the bigger person publicly, so Stephen A feels some level of shame because, this person is a good person that I'm criticizing. So even if it was my daughter, the actions would have been way more immediate. But for me, because Bronny is a professional and he is on my same basketball team, I would not have instructed Bronny to go out there and crash out, and I wouldn't have crashed out on Bronny's behalf. I would have crashed out behind the scenes and let Bronny learn a valuable lesson from that, because it is a different thing. And I will say this as a person, there are probably 10,000 hours of me talking on the internet, right? Mm-hmm. I do not speak about women the same way that I speak about men, and people can feel however they want to. I do not speak about women the same way that I speak about men. I give women a lot more grace and space, a lot less jokes, and a lot less crude and harsh criticism, because anything I can say can be taken and be misconstrued as me being sexist rather than it being me like constructive criticism.
No, of course.
So if you ever do hear me or see me criticize a woman on the internet, I personally felt like whatever happened was egregious. Gotcha. So I say that to say I'm sure and I believe Stephen A has the same principles. So yes, my reaction to someone being publicly critical of my daughter would be different, because I don't move in that manner. Versus when it comes to talking about men and entertainment and playing sports and basketball, and I'm critiquing them, and sometimes they got character flaws that we point out, yeah, I'm going to be a little bit more harsher on them. Yes, I will be. And if those men want to see me in real life, cool. But I'm not going to criticize someone's daughter and be on the internet trashing somebody's daughter, not expecting their father not to come after me. I'm more so expecting that man to come and confront me than his dad is to come and confront me. That's just my personal opinion on it.
That's cool. Okay, I'll take it.
Not to like get crazy, but I'm just saying I've said a lot of shit about thousands of people.
Listen.
But I really make it a point as someone that does media and as a journalist to not go and openly just try to attack women, because number one, you look weak when you do that. And number two, there's better ways, especially in a space where you see all these people all the time, to have those conversations that aren't public.
But I think that also, and I guess like the thing that kind of, I'm thinking about the other side and how like men have, without boundaries, it has become a gateway into doing that very thing to women. You know what I mean? When it comes to like, you know what I mean? With no boundaries on how you speak to men and of men or anybody else, it has kind of, gotten us to a point where like they will do that. And I think that's why you said, I'm going to make it a point as part of my ethos to not do that, because you've seen that the average is disrespect or whatever. You know what I mean? So like, but again, like, I don't think that there's disagreement there. I'm, if anything, listening to what you said, and I'm kind of thinking about the other side. But I think all in all, I think we
no, but that was a good, healthy conversation though.
No, of course, no. Listen,
I'm sure people gonna listen, be entertained by it.
Hey, listen, I think we both, at the end of it, agreed that both of them crossed the line. I think that, there, for some things to be gained, there's some things that are lost. You know what I mean? And I don't really see either one overwhelmingly getting a W out of this. So I agree with you in the sense of like, it wasn't worth it, because there's really nothing that anyone like gained from it. You know what I mean? So like, like, I agree with you. Like it wasn't overall, was it worth it? God, no. It wasn't. Now I just give grace in a sense of like, okay, you don't pick how people respond, even with Stephen A. I hold him a little bit more accountable when it comes to his history, his trajectory, the things that he's done, and what he represents in the new era of, Black people in media in pole positions. You know what I mean? I think, like, just as much as LeBron has accountability, I think that's the thing that like I didn't like lift up, is like, Stephen A. It has to hold Stephen A. more accountable. Not saying that like he could have controlled LeBron walking up. I'm talking about more so after the fact. You know what I mean? And like spiraling and going to the Kobe stuff and all. You know what I mean? I think that overall, you are still at the height, just like LeBron is at the height of his thing. And when you have two titans kind of going at it, you know what I mean? Like after the initial wrestling in the mud, don't then start mud wrestling. So you're right. You know what I mean? I'll give you that. You kind of like, you got me on your side when it comes to just like the after effects and both of them kind of tweaking out a little bit.
Yeah, because like, I'll put it this way. I would expect that of me, right? Because I've said numerous times on the internet, there are people that look up to me and view me as a role model. And I tell them all the time, I am a very flawed individual. Do not look to me to be a role model. Look past me and go above and beyond. And hopefully you can take my lessons and my failures and learn from them, so that way you don't make the equal amount of mistakes. And it's not about me trying to like guide in the sense of like, oh, I'm taking control and being a role model. But like, if you LeBron, you own a school. It's a lot of people that actually look up to you as a role model, and you acknowledge that you are a role model. Therefore, like, there is some level of behavior at which you should skirt some of those lines. Like, I don't expect you to live the same life that I lead, because you are someone that acknowledges that you are a role model and a leader in your space, where you are trying to help and improve and help people to be better and improve. So even beyond the words that were spoken, right? I would hope that you, as Dion, the person that acknowledges that he is a role model and a leader in the space, would be able to give your son a better lesson than like, yo, let's just go sling in the mud. And that's not me to diminish you as a parent, because we all know LeBron is an excellent father. We all know LeBron is an excellent father because he didn't have a father. His children are very successful, very smart. 2 kids enrolled in college. Daughter is young, doing her thing. Seems to be very smart and intelligent, right? So it's not about questioning, is LeBron a good father? It's questioning, is the role model that is LeBron the father being the proper role model? And that's really what it boils down to, because it's just a different level of responsibility. Like some niggas is just happen to be superheroes. And my favorite superhero movie is Spider-Man 2, because that's the movie where he really wrestled with like, yo, I don't want to be Spider-Man. I hate this shit. My uncle got killed. My girlfriend gone. I can't hang out with my aunt. And like the darkness is taking over me, all that shit weighing on me. And he literally, it's a scene where he's in that movie and he's sitting on the bed and he looks at just off in the distance. And he says something to the effect of like, am I supposed to am I supposed to do what I'm supposed to do, or am I supposed to be happy? And then I think he got a call that Mary Jane got kidnapped or something like that, right? Yeah. So immediately, like, him as Peter Parker can't affect Mary Jane getting kidnapped, but him as Spider-Man can affect that. But if he puts on that suit as Spider-Man, he got to live and die with everything that's going to come with him being Spider-Man, even though he wants to be happy as Peter Parker. And to me, I think that's sometimes what LeBron wrestles with, when in reality, he's always going to be Spider-Man. That's why in the last episode, I told you, to me, I like the Peter Parker story better, because like That's the shit that he really wrestling with. Like when he not LeBron, what is he like? And that's really more so the thought. But let's move on. Let's talk about AI and art. This Ghibli thing. I don't know if you've been seeing all these little animated memes. They look like, some anime style type of memes. There's a famous Japanese cartoonist, I believe, by the name of Ghibli. And he spent thousands of hours making these films, crafting these beautiful animations, only for OpenAI, which is one of the world's largest leading AI providers, to basically ingest his content and spit out and add to their plateau of, or suite of things in their AI suite, the ability for you to type in whatever you want and turn it into a meme in the style of that animation. So the internet has been on fire, not only with people posting the memes, but also people arguing about artistic integrity versus theft. The other thing I want to say is now, because AI is so good, you see a lot of these streamers and famous entertainers be placed in situations via AI where they didn't consider them. For example, there is a streamer by the name of Duke Dennis, and because he wore some crop top shirts, now the internet has basically been placing him in these AI videos where he is now the woman, when in reality, like, he has been known and he's made it clear that he's a straight man. And he has been offended by him because he's famous now, people are sending him these things, and there's nothing he can do to control people making them or publicly exhibiting them. What are your thoughts about AI and this new wave of things? And do you believe that AI is large? And do you believe that artistic AI is largely theft? And what are your overall thoughts? Absolutely. And don't say nothing that's going to get the machines to come back and fuck you up once they take over.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So fucking me up. I know a lot of artists, especially here in Chicago, and I've grown to try to understand artists and appreciate them and respect them. And I just think that, AI, when it comes to art, ingesting and taking art and using it to craft art, it's absolutely theft. You know what I mean? And I just think that, it doesn't have to be complicated. I think that when we look at it, without regulation, I think that, we found ourselves in a situation where, the artists, again, aren't represented, and have a voice that is respected. And, that is why, a lot of the things that, OpenAI and other AI-based companies and startups are doing, there's a lot of ethics concerns. And so I just really think that ultimately, it for me personally, I believe it is theft. And I think that every artist has a right, if their art was, stolen or illegally used in, that database to inspire or create similar artworks, then no, it is what it is. Because, you're having your IP protected is important. You know what I mean? And we look at it throughout history, especially people of color. You know what I mean? We have not had, ownership and possession of our IP. And as a result, we've lost out on a lot of different ways we could have generated and built wealth. And I think this is another thing that takes wealth from the artist. And so whenever, we're talking about theft, I'm looking at the other side of it. If there is a lack of revenue generation, if there's a lack of, the owner and creator of that art to utilize that art in a way that they see fit, then yeah. Because a lot of times what we see in, especially now in, the new AI chapter, and before that, the social media chapter of, technology, specifically in America, is building a lot of wealth with the stealing of data and the stealing of IP. And this is no different when you have burgeoning markets. It's the wild, wild west until regulations are put in place. And by the time regulations are put in place, the fortunes have already been made.
Yeah, and I have a point, not really to disagree with that, but kind of to add to that. I believe that all of this is a purposely orchestrated attack on art. I believe since I would say 2010, not only has the American media, but also the American politicians. And I'm not going to name a side because honestly, both of the politicians both sides have claimed that the media has lied at certain points and the media has been proven to be liars. But also I've seen numerous clips of 300 reporters all saying the same thing, which to me, like, you know, why you were saying that, because in my mind, to me, it's not art, right? But then it boils down to you getting real technical with the term. And I say that because while you were speaking, I looked up the definition of art. And the definition of art is the expression or application of human creative skill and imagination, typically in visual forms such as paintings or sculpture, producing work to be appreciated primarily for their beauty or emotional power. I do not believe that AI at this point in time can do any of what we just named. So therefore, AI is not the thing that is stealing from us. It is the people that are creating these computer programs. And I've said this numerous times. I do not believe I don't believe that there is a public form of artificial intelligence that thinks for itself. What artificial intelligence does is not artificially intelligent. What it does is it has access to the entire database that is the internet. And what they have figured out a way to do with these ultra hyper small and impressive micro processors and chips. If you want to learn more about what I'm talking about, there's a YouTuber by the name of Johnny Harris, and he goes into depth about Taiwan and like the whole Taiwanese China thing and how really it all boils down to microchip processors and people wanting to maintain control of that because they lead the industry in doing that. And that is the company that is called NVIDIA, right? So these microprocessors are able to scrape the internet instantaneously, essentially, and amalgamate and pull together all these things to give you what it believes is the best subset of information based upon what you've given it to like output. That is not what art is. To me, as a lifelong artist, art is not me creating an input and then getting an output from a computer. Even as someone who has created art with computers, right? The art comes from the initial idea of the expression. And then you then go and create that physical manifestation of that thing. That thing cannot simply be done by typing in something into a keyboard and making that thing happen. That is you creating a meme, right? And I think that that's a real, and actually let me look up the definition of a meme. The definition of a meme is an image, video, piece of text, typically humorous in nature that is copied and spread rapidly by internet users, often with slight variations. Second one, an element of culture or system or of behavior passed on from one individual to another by imitation or other non-generic means. To me, AI is not creating art. AI is creating memes by definition, even though AI can be used in an artistic expression. And I use it myself in an artistic expression. The input in the computer is not art. The input in the computer is me generating a meme, something that people colloquially will be able to recognize and thus be able to like buy into that idea. So even when we talk about this animation stuff, we only know what that style is because this thing existed. It's just a meme. It's not art.
But also I would my rebuttal would be is that the initial thought, ideation, execution into whatever your art is, right? But that's intrinsic to you. And so I'm talking about your process. Like, you can't disagree with me saying your process is your process.
I'll put it this way. Hold on.
Okay,
go ahead.
Because what I want to get to is you saying, well, it's an input. But see, the two issue areas is that the way that you argue semantics and process is the way that the artist is devalued and screwed. Is because when it is a way, it can be opinion, but when you're saying,
I don't agree with that Because I've had artists create art for me only for the cost of goods. The art is not the goods. The goods are just the goods. The art is what that artist makes with those goods.
What I'm saying is like you're trying to put the blanket definition based off you as an artist, but like that is still like your personal journey. When like we're talking about so everybody went through what you went through. Everybody's process is yours.
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, have you ever painted a painting?
Yes, 3rd grade.
Okay, so how did that happen?
I painted it.
No, but explain to me the process of how that happened. And I'll explain to you how that's different than you inputting some text on a computer and it's spitting that thing out and you calling that art. But art
also,
is about perspective. What perspective does a computer program have?
Listen, if it generates something that can replace an art, like the ability for an artist to sell something. So you're telling me that if a computer generated something that is similar to this artist's original work, and thus they lost that opportunity to either like for example, let's use like the lawsuits of like when there's plagiarism in a song, right? So like these are two different processes, these are two different artists, and like sometimes some have been said to you because we know that I'm speaking to the cases in which it wasn't clear whether or not it was plagiarism or not. You know what I mean? That's just like the subset that I'm focusing on. If that is to be true, then what I'm saying is like, okay, you're getting caught up because we're talking about two different parts of the process. You're talking about saying, oh, well, AI, no matter what, AI cannot create art. That's what you're saying.
It can't, because you have to have an input.
But and I get that.
Like you can't like the AI doesn't just sit on its own and say, "Yo, let me just start making some random Japanese style art."
Right, but you're saying, okay, well, no, you're not. The AI is not wrong. It's who's controlling it and who's programming it.
No, I'm saying it's a computer program. It's not artificially intelligent. So because it doesn't have a perspective. So therefore, it only generates the input in which you put in to create that image. And once you do that, you are not creating art. You are creating, by definition,
accessory to murder.
No, you are creating by definition a meme. And that is the reason why I read the definition of art and I read the definition of a meme. And art requires perspective. It's all of the things that led you to be able to be in 3rd grade, to have that teacher place that paint in front of you and say, Dion, paint me a dolphin. Now we go back to every time Dion has ever seen a dolphin in his life. Dion takes all of the times he has seen a dolphin. Now, all of the times that the internet or the world has seen a dolphin, and Dion crafts from his perspective using those tools to create that piece of art, because that's your perspective on what a dolphin looks like. And your son is not going to draw an amalgamation, or my daughter, of what the internet thinks a dolphin looks like. They're going to draw what they believe a dolphin looks like because they have the perspective of having seen a dolphin and how that emotionally attaches to them. So therefore they will paint based on colors. No, but it's not. It's not. That's what I'm saying, Dion. Think about this, right?
But that's what you said.
No. Think about this. Like I said, describe you painting that picture. And then I'm going to ask you, what color was the dolphin? And you might have said it was purple. And I say, why you make it purple?
I'm asking for clarification. In the beginning, you said you talked about the issue.
Yes.
So I am, for a moment, putting down an argument, and I'm speaking about the facts of the question. You said that all of this is up, is illegally used to feed information. So So then let's go back to what I just said. I said was my perspective of my dolphin experience is then ingested. So it doesn't stop with me. It is used, and you're saying, "Oh well." You're saying,
I'm saying that is what makes it not art. Because art is your perspective.
But art is subjective. If they call the shit art,
Dion.
Oh my Lord,
Dion.
Some people think music is art, and other people don't.
Brother.
Wait, time out. So wait.
Do we need to read the definitions of these two words again?
No, wait, stop. Don't do that. What I'm saying?
No. Because even in this definition, it didn't include music.
No.
So by definition, you could be right.
What I am saying is this. I am saying that art is subjective. Art is considered art by the viewer and by the consumer. That is up until now. That is how it's treated. I'm not saying you're wrong in your definition. I'm talking about how it's treated in real life.
And this is the problem I have with this conversation today. Because you just actually proved my point. Because you mentioned a consumer. Artists do not create for consumers.
Oh my! I'm not talking. No, listen.
No,
stay with me.
Stop. What? We can go back into the Renaissance. All of that. A lot of the greatest artists died broke because they did not make art for the consumer. They made art to express their perspective. A computer does not have a perspective. It only has the inputs you put in the computer and tell it to spit out. That's not art. It's a meme. It's not art.
About the perception. You're trying to ignore the perception of what art is. I'm not saying you're wrong. You're trying to use the definition only. I'm using real life where when people talk about art, I'm talking about the person who experiences it. So let me change consumer with the person experiencing it, because you harped on that where I'm talking about the people who experience it. When we look
I still don't like that, G. Some of the greatest artists became great after they died. That don't mean they made it for people to watch when they was alive.
I didn't say that they made it for.
So you as the consumer don't define art. The artist does. That's what I'm saying.
They define. They have their idea of what art is, not the specific art, about what categories is considered art. That is intrinsic to the person. It is that's why people. You just said. By definition, you would be right because I didn't mention music. But people view music as an art form. I'm not saying that by the definition they're right or wrong. I'm just saying
Google's, and I would say this as a caveat. That's Google's definition. I didn't even look in Merriam-Webster. No, I'm saying I didn't look in Merriam-Webster. I just Googled art definition. That's what the AI amalgamated and came up with as the definition of art.
Right. And so what I am presenting is information to the contrary. I'm not saying that music is or is not art. But
okay, I got a question for you. I think I got a question for you. I got a question for you.
Talk to me.
Right?
Talk to me.
Can you go to a computer and also,
time out.
And these inputs. Inputs.
Before we say this, I'm gonna just say this. You like you definitely in your artist bag right now.
No, because I get what you mean, but I'm saying no one talks to the artist. They only I'm both sides. I'm the business person and the artist. I hire artists, but as an artist and a person that's hired a lot of artists, they don't make art just so that way people can see them. They make it because it is an expression of their perspective. And my point is a computer doesn't have one, which if we open up Chat GPT, yo, draw me some art, it's going to say, well, what do you want to see? Therefore, you're just making a meme. It's not art. You can't go up to a paintbrush and say, yo, I got all the paintbrushes. Yo, make me a painting. I can't go up to the camera like, yo, shoot this video. It's going to say, well, where you want it to be placed? Where's the camera? That's art.
I think that I don't.
My camera died. I'm finna change my battery.
I don't disagree with you saying that there needs to be an idea. But I think that what this conversation is highlighting is the way that AI is used as an accessory to theft. And, I get what you're saying. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm starting to, I think I'm starting to
And I'm not disrespecting your opinion. I'm just saying,
no. I don't think that at all. I'm saying it's like what it's done is getting me more pointed to what my opinion is, which is there is theft involved. And I think that AI is the mechanism that is used to steal.
I agree with that.
So I will say
I agree with that.
I agree with you that AI is not stealing. What I will say is AI is being used for theft in a way that it is just a grand heist of all of the resources. And again, it's not to say that the artist is creating for the resources, but resources should be made available to them if their art is either imitated and purchased in a transaction. You know what I mean? Like all I'm saying is like,
what their argument is? You know what their argument is?
What?
Their argument is, well, it was uploaded to the internet. It's all public domain.
No, and look, we're not gonna. That's
no. I'm just saying, but that I agree. So I want you to understand. I wasn't disagreeing with that point. Of course. I just want for everyone out there to understand that there is a distinction between art and computer generated memes, and we live in a day and age in which computer generated memes are imitating art. And the value, like I said, I agree with you. Thus, driving down the value of the art. But the problem is when we interchange those words as one another, that further devalues the art because it's not the art. Like you have to put in to a computer, make a song like Babyface, right? Babyface had to be made through perspective. So the computers are diminishing those artists, and those artists do deserve their, royalties and all that. Like he say, go ahead, give me my money. But so I'm saying that I agree with you. I just want us to change the terminology because that type of terminology hurts the artist, even though we think we're being inclusive of the artists.
But I think, but also what I appreciate about your framing and your terminology is it's a fresh perspective with a clear framework to work with. And when it comes to this argument, I think where we landed is a healthy, reduced, kind of pared down way of expressing the idea, which I can appreciate. You know what I mean? Like, for example, like you even reading, art and meme. You know what I mean? To support. I'm with you. You cook. I ain't gonna lie. Cook of the week.
So talk to us with you. We want to talk about leadership being all inclusive. I know you had some points you wanted to make, and then we're gonna round it out with some happier stuff. And I know that might sound argumentative in nature. Fun. I love it. Hopefully, no, I'm just saying. I for the people that listen, I know they be like, "Yo, TPJ going on about this," but a lot of the time, especially in this day and age, people have taken nomenclature, which is just the words that we use to describe things, and just mashed them all together, and that's why everything feels so blurred. And I feel like if we start to define some of these terms more openly and more specific, it will help to change the conversation, especially with you being the chief dreamer. People follow you and how you feel about those things. And even though they might look at me as being crazy and an idiot, they still follow you. So they're like, if TP can get the chief dreamer to agree a little bit or be like, that makes sense, hopefully they can change their ways. So talk to me. Why do you feel like leadership is all inclusive? And what does that mean before everyone says Dion's going all, he's going all pro DEI on us immediately? What does that mean? What does leadership is all inclusive mean to you?
I just think, and I'll tell the viewers what prompted this. There's a Republican congresswoman out of, I believe, Indiana, and there was a town hall where one of the residents stood up and just asked, okay, well, what is talking to the congresswoman, what is your stance on the sensitive information leak with Pete Hegseth and everyone else in that message thread? And in that moment, And then they also ask, would you say he needs to resign? And at this moment, you have all these people stand up saying, lock him up. And I just thought about, leadership and understanding that, as a alderman, as a councilman or woman, as a mayor, as a governor, as a president, as a senator, as a state rep, on the PTA board, after campaigning and winning your race and taking office, you represent everybody that you're supposed to represent. And I think it's extremely important because, this is not a Democratic or a Republican problem when we talk about this data leak. This is an American problem. This is a problem that affects everybody in the country. And I don't want this moment and this lesson to be lost, not necessarily about the sensitive information, because not everyone understands why this was so dangerous, and that's okay. But I think more importantly is to understand that this is not about Republicans. This leak is not bad because Republicans did it. This is no. These are our duly elected officials. These are the officials, except for, PH, that he was selected and confirmed. But when we talk about these officials, now this is not about Republican or Democrat. And leadership being all-inclusive is understanding, that if I'm the mayor of Chicago, I'm the mayor of everyone. If I'm the governor of Illinois, I'm the governor of Illinois. If I'm the president of the United States, I am the president of the United States. And that is all inclusive. That is everyone. And I just think that when we think about these moments, as leaders, we have to make sure that after we campaign and we win that election that we ran for, we have to make sure that we kind of recalibrate. And we realize it's not a us versus them anything anymore. Now it's about us representing the people thing. And I think that if we could kind of have a moment where we can recalibrate and have those people in our lives that can help us recalibrate, I think it'll put us in a better situation. Because I just think that, party politics all the way down to the local level has really shifted, the collective responsibility and role that they play when it comes to being able to care for and represent everybody.
Yeah, I think that was very, very well said and very, very well articulated. To me, it's about the purple. And the purple is everybody. The red and the blue, that's how you get purple. And that's really, to me, what it's about, all of us as a collective, and really us just trying to make as a parent, I care about my life. And I love my life, but at the end of the day, my daughter's life is, to me, the most important thing, and making sure that she can have a solid future and things that in a better world in which the one that I grew up in. And to me, that better world in which the one I grew up in is not a divided world. It's an all-inclusive world. And that means that everybody, gets taken care of from the top to the bottom. And sometimes I do think leadership in general, whether it be in the tech sector, entertainment, production, everybody's so focused on who's making money at the top, when usually those that are making money at the top already have a lot of money. They just want more money. And it's less about trying to make sure that everyone can go home at the end of the day and feel confident about their choices in their life and about America. I think as a kid, I grew up in America. I believed in the American dream. I don't necessarily know if the younger generation has a reason to believe in that. And I believe part of that, it comes from the fact that things have become so divided and less inclusive, just like politically, and how polarizing we all are on a daily basis on all levels. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. And I think if we all, sought and thought to come together collectively and build, regardless, I hate sounding corny when I say regardless of skin color and stuff, but at the end of the day, if you look at my phone Rolodex, it's everybody in there. It's not just one, it's everybody in there. Absolutely. And when it comes time to make money, that really normally is usually the only thing that matters. Like the color green, not what political party. And for me, I just think we all just got to, continue to hone in and lock in on the fact that our only real differences, or the only things that are really dividing us at this point in time, are really our ways of life. And if the way that we've been going, which has been a divided way for all these years, is not working, maybe it might be time for us to come together and be more inclusive, because at the end of the day, we all bleed the same color blood. We all have the same internal organs, same amount of toes, fingers, eyes, shout out to the disabled community. I say that as no disrespect. I'm just saying we all are collectively the same internally in terms of our DNA. And especially as Americans, like, we should all come together with that pride of wanting us all to be better and move, further beyond where we are now for our children and for the next generation, so that way they can be happy. So you wanted to end this on a positive note, as I do too. Feel good on purpose. What made you come up with that, Mr. Dion?
So hold on, wait. Before we go there, we're gonna go to the lesson of the week, because feel good on purpose will be our affirmation of the week. Go ahead. But the lesson of the week for me was like putting a name on it. You know what I mean? Like I had to understand that I got to put a name on it. You know what I mean? Say those things out loud. What you going for? You know what I mean? Like look yourself in the mirror. I tell y'all this every week. You got to look in the mirror, because sometimes you got to make sure you believe it. But what are you going for? Is it a promotion at work? Is it starting your own company? Is it telling one person you love them every day? Is it scoring 30 points in the game if you're in high school? You know what I mean? If it's going back to school and getting your degree? Whatever it is, you got to put it on the wood, okay? Put a name on it. Say that. Make it real. Because what I learned this week, and it reminded me of when I first started, is this wouldn't have happened if I didn't say out loud that I wanted to feed 100 families. If I never said it out loud, it wouldn't have been real. And I need you to put it on the wood. I need you to say it. Make this thing shake, okay? So next time somebody asks you, man, what do you want to do? Don't just say, well, I don't know. No, you know what you want. Stand on it. Stand on business, okay? Let's go.
I like that. Good lesson of the week.
Yeah.
My lesson of the week, I think back to the very first music video I shot in my life. At this point, I think I've shot over 80 different music videos for dozens of artists. Shout out to all of those artists. I appreciate it. But the very first music video I shot was in college. And it was actually a demo project that we had to shoot. We had to pick a popular song from the 80s or the 90s and shoot a video. And we were tasked with the song "Don't Stop Believing" by Journey. And a lot of the times, over the past year,
Don't stop.
Yeah, exactly.
Believing.
Exactly. A lot of times I think back over the last year just about like my journey, no pun intended to the name of the group. And I think back to those days and how far I've come and how much further I still have to go. And it just kind of reminds me, I was thinking for randomly, that song popped in my head, because also that song is a song that ends the show The Sopranos. Yep. If you ever watch The Sopranos, but you don't really know what happens at the end of The Sopranos, it just ends and life goes on. And that kind of been in my mind. It's like, yeah, things have ended, so life continues to go on. And that's been my lesson of the week, is like, don't stop believing. And think back to that first music video where I'm thinking, how am I going to shoot this video about something that I don't know about, like this group that I've heard the song, but like we can't have no artists, none of that. And we just wind up making the video about a love story and a couple walking together and meeting each other by the river walk, I believe. And then they kind of hugged and had fun underneath the river walk. But like, that was the journey of like coming and bringing all that together. And I didn't stop believing then, even through the cold walks in the Chicago winter. So don't stop believing. Keep going.
Don't stop believing. I love it, man.
Feel good on purpose. So,
hey, man,
go ahead. You got to do it.
Yeah, we got to wrap this thing out.
You got to do it.
Absolutely. Affirmation of the week. Feel good on purpose. Okay? This ain't a mistake. This ain't for play. Feel good on purpose. You deserve to. Okay? Wake up every day this week understanding and telling yourself you're going to feel good on purpose. Seek out the feeling of feeling good. Take notes on what makes you feel good, so you can do it more. You can get closer to it. Take notes on what makes you feel less than good, so you can avoid it, so you can jump over those potholes. But this week, I need you to feel good on purpose, because there's so much in life, so much is going on that's going to remind you that you shouldn't feel good, that you should feel heavy, that you should be down. We ain't on that. Not that type of time. Take all those thoughts, get going, get them out of there. Okay. Feel good on purpose. So with that, I need you to, make sure I need you to go be great. I need you to understand that tomorrow's not promised. So today we ball. Okay. This has been, Chief Dreamer. Got TPJ, Chief Dreamer Podcast. It's been a good
conversation.
One, right?
We hit 2 hours today. Now, the first episode, I could barely get you to talk. We had a great conversation, some good arguments. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. If you're listening to this, if you're watching any of the clips, always drop a comment. We see every comment. We see every single comment. We respond to them. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. If you're listening to us on Spotify, make sure you rate the show 5 stars. There's a poll for every show. Vote in the poll. I believe today the poll, what the next poll we're going to have is AI art. I want y'all to vote yes or no. Drop a comment in there on Spotify.
Wait. No.
Go ahead.
Do the framing we did. Is AI largely theft, or is AI used to steal? I'm love with that. That's what we're going to do.
I like that. So go vote on Spotify. If you're watching us on YouTube, drop a comment on YouTube. Shout out to my guy, Lawrence DeShield. We went to high school together. He told us he peeped the episode. You know what I mean? It's your boy TPJ. Dion, tell them where they can find you at.
Hey, man, you can find, of course, at Dion Dawson. But more importantly, don't follow me. Follow the pod, okay? Chief Dreamer Show on all platforms, Spotify, man, YouTube. Please subscribe. Make sure you click that little bell so you can know when we post and stuff. Follow the shorts, the long form. Holler at us, inboxes, DM, ask us questions. Tell us topics you want us to cover, the whole 9. Why? Because this show is for the people, okay? I can't be Chief Dreamer if I ain't got no people out there dreaming, okay? With that being said, we gonna go ahead and get on out of here, okay? Y'all be cool.
Peace out, y'all. Much love. Till next time, baby.